prospect of the ages right here, Richie Lewis. He fights at Titan FC next weekend against Ernesto Starboy Rodriguez. Richie, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. And just enjoying life, enjoying every moment of this journey.
How has fight camp been for you at the Goat Shed Academy?
It's been really good. I think this was the best camp that I've ever put together. Between wrestling, between all my competitive careers, I feel like this has been the most fluid one, and this is the most prepared I've ever been to compete, to be honest.
For sure, for sure. And you're fighting on a stacked card. I believe it was Nate Marquardt. I believe yeah, it was Nate Marquardt, right? He's coming out of retirement.
Make it great, yep.
You have a lot of UFC veterans. You have a lot of great names on that card. How good does it feel to be on such a stacked card and to have a lot of eyes on you?
Man, I think it's amazing. The fact that I'm gonna be an earlier fight on the main card is kind of awesome because I'll be able to watch my teammates after, and I just think it's awesome to get the eyes on me and be in that environment where there's been UFC guys and they kind of know the deal. So it's gonna be a great learning experience. It's gonna be a great experience for myself.
Mhm. Who are some of your friends and teammates that are going to be on this card with you?
Too solid. My friend Gus, he's a prospect. I think he's 3-1 or 4-1. Who's on the card, Jerry? Ryan Kuz. He's one of the bigger prospects out of the goat shed. Uh, and then Sean Mora, who's a Cuban wrestler. He's nasty. That dude is like, he's going to be definitely UFC talent.
Mhm. For sure. And there's a lot of heat in your last battle against Danny Vega. There's a lot of back and forth, social media stuff. What's the story behind your guys' history?
So I think it's fun, the social media stuff, man. My coach actually like loves it. So me, I'm more of just the talker. I could just say whatever, but I'm not the type of guy that goes on the internet and talk shit. My coach does that, and he does a good job of it, and he hypes the fights up. For this one, I do have a little bit of emotion ties to it because this kid came into our gym, asked to join our gym, uh, asked to spar me, whatever. We sparred 2 rounds. We didn't even do all 3 rounds. And he was just upset with the results, I guess. Didn't really give me much energy after that. Tried to talk to him. He kind of just brushed me off. So I took it for what it was and said, okay, if this kid's going to join our team, he's going to have to tighten the fuck up or something. And was here for a week and was doing some media and some other things. And I could just tell he was side eyeing me, kind of envious or jealous or whatever he had going on. And then left back for Extreme Couture. I guess our matchmaker hit him up and was like, hey, if you want to fight for Titan, we have dates in August and dates in September. Main priority fights is going to be for Richie Lewis and for Angel Alvarez, who's one of my teammates, who was another prospect, undefeated. And he was like, I'll fight anybody if the money's right. And my coach and the matchmaker came back to my coach and said, what verbatim what he said. And my coach reached out to this guy and was like, hey man, you know, are you looking to fight our guys? Because you asked to join our team. I'm a little bit confused. So we don't want to make any rash decisions. I want to have communication with you first. And rule number one is you never cross Awesome, my coach, because he is the number one troll in the world, and he will just make you look like you're a complete idiot. So this guy unwittingly decides to talk shit to my coach and says, yeah. So if my coach hates you, man, like you're in for some comedic entertainment.
Got it, got it. And when did this first sparring match between you and Ernesto? When did it go down?
I think it was July 3rd. So it was, I mean, 4 weeks ago maximum. Maybe 5 weeks ago was my first day of in camp of cage round sparring. So I was in camp for about 2 weeks, just prepping my body. I normally do an 8-week camp. 2 weeks is kind of getting back into my cardio, and then 6 weeks of hard training. And it was my first day back in camp. I was supposed to spar one of my teammates, Landry Ward, who's 4-0. He's killing it in Combate right now. He's one of my main training partners, along with Johan Mejias. And this kid came in. My coach was like, all right, let Richie, I want you to spar Ernesto, because for my coach, right, for his gym, he owns the gym, it's beneficial if I win. He shows the kid, hey, you have prospects to train with that are better than you and you can get better. If I lose, hey, Richie, look, you need to focus in and get back in the gym more and focus on these certain areas. So it's kind of a win-win for my coach. But when the lights are on, man, I'm not too privy to losing. So I went in there and just, did my thing, touched him up, and that was it. It was about 5 weeks ago.
And And you've had a history with both of your opponents. With Danny Vega, there's a lot of social media back and forth. With this one, there's definitely a story there. There's some drama. Is this fight for Nesto even bigger in terms of drama than the fight with Danny Vega?
Yeah, for sure. The one with Danny Vega was more of just like whatever, you know. I didn't have any like real beef against him. It was just kind of a fight. My coach really didn't like him, and my teammates really didn't like him. But for me, it was just a fight. For this one, I want to go in there and humble this kid, and I want to go in here and show him that there's a different level of athlete in Titan, and there's a different level of athlete inside Richie Lewis that he will never be able to reach and never be able to obtain. And I'm looking to make that a reality on August 6th.
Do you see this fight ending inside a distance, or do you see yourself breaking him down over the course of 3 rounds and making it to the decision?
I see myself breaking him down. Obviously, this kid thinks that he is going to get me tired or gonna hit me with something hard, and I just see my cardio is in a very good place, and I just see myself outworking him, putting out my high energy and my high effort, and keeping the pace on him, and him opening up and trying to take me down or throw an overhand or something, and I catch him and I hit him with something he won't wake up from.
For sure. Then, with a win over Ernesto next weekend, you'll be 2-0 inside the Titan FC cage. You're obviously developing, but do you have your eyes on that Titan FC belt, or do you think you might hop across, different promotions and try out new things?
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna stick with Titan, man. I'm gonna work my way up and get the belt there. God willing, I win on Friday, August 6th, and we take it from there. If I don't get hurt, I'll keep working my goals towards the belt. And if I do get hurt, I'll do what I did last time, take a little bit of time off and focus again on my development. Hopefully I'll be able to get in there before the year's end again. But the main focus is on Friday night. I want to make a statement here. My last fight, it was a 30-27 decision. I wasn't too happy with myself, but I definitely needed that experience. It was my first time ever inside of a cage fight professionally against an experienced opponent, and I had a decent performance. But this one, I'm looking to really showcase my skills, showcase my talent, showcase my heart, and showcase my intelligence and my development and everything that I've been working on.
And I know you still want to know, but with the impressive win next weekend, do you think Contender Series might be? Do you think that's too early and too quick for you, or do you think you might make it on the next season of Contender Series?
So I like Contender Series because it is a good platform, but I think we're going to take this fight, or this career over the next year and really focus on my development more than anything. And then we'll start looking at options to move to the UFC and a bigger promotion.
For sure. And how many fights would you like to have in 2021? You're a pretty active fighter already. When would you like to get back in there?
I'd like to have 3 fights this year and then 2 or 3 fights in the first 2 quarters of next year. So that's my goal. And this fight is shit's crazy, man. You could be 10 times better than your opponent, but you get punched weird, kicked weird, end up weird positions. So it's all God willing that I stay healthy. I know I'm gonna win. It's just about staying healthy and continuing to be able to develop.
And I know your team got behind the spectacle that was Logan Paul's fight against Floyd Mayweather. What did you make of his performance?
Man, I really like Logan. I think he's the fucking man. I think he's a nice guy. I think he has good character. I think he's entertaining, and I do think he's a special athlete. And I think that's going to continue to show. I think if he continues to fight these Floyd Mayweathers or like Canelo or like that level of guy, I don't think he's going to have that much success as far as the win columns. He'll definitely have a lot of success in his bank account. But I think if he chooses to develop his career correctly, I think the dude can be a legitimate professional boxer. Also, his coach Milton Supreme is part of the Goat Shed. He comes in, he trained awesome, so we learn a lot of the similar techniques. And Milton will come in and train with me and do privates with me every once in a while when he is at the gym and sit down and show me stuff. And their style is different, man, and I really like it. And it's something that a lot of the old school guys did, but they're kind of transitioning to this new generation. I think that's what kind of shocked Mayweather, because if you did watch the fight, obviously Mayweather, I believe, did win the fight. But Logan, you can't look past his talent, and his skill set.
For sure. I think he's in talks to fight Anderson Silva, who's arguably the GOAT. How do you see that fight going down? Because you have Anderson Silva, who looked good in his last fight against Cesar Chavez, I believe. How do you see that fight going down?
Man, that's the thing. I think Logan could beat him, to be honest. I don't. I'm not gonna put my money on Logan, but I'm definitely not gonna put my money on Anderson Silva. The last fight, it was like, okay, I think Floyd Mayweather's definitely gonna win that fight. Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. Okay, obviously Jake Paul's gonna win, but this fight, I think is a 50-50 fight because Anderson is old, and Logan is in his prime, and he is a bigger guy. You know.
For sure, for sure. And is there any names that interest you at the moment, like in Time FC or other promotions that you'd like to fight later down the line?
No, I think over this next year from today, I'm just gonna take what they're giving me and continue to work my rank and work my stock, and then I'll get into the shit talking and the calling out.
For sure, for sure. Then after your last fight, just going into the summer, did you take any off days? Did you take any vacations between your last fight and now?
For sure, man. I mean, I'm extremely disciplined when it's time to fight and when it's time to camp and it's time to train. But when I'm outside of camp, I like to relax. I like to party. I like to go out. I feel like it really frees my mind. So I take a couple weeks where I go into full business mode, a couple weeks where I go to clubs, have a couple of drinks, enjoy my time and meet new people. And then after that, it's straight back into that development phase. So I do about a month off, but I'm still training. I'm still developing on these little things, mostly letting my body recover, and then the rest is training, diet, lifting. That's the one thing I would say has been the biggest factor in my development has been the shape that I'm in and the health of my body. On a new weightlifting program and a new physical therapy program and training program because I'm able to increase my volume so much. With wrestling, I was only able to train so much, and now that I'm fighting and on the right programs, I'm able to increase that volume, and it's making me get a lot better, a lot quicker than I had expected.
And this next fight, you're going for greatness. You're going for the takedowns. You're going for slams. You're going to go there for domination. What can the fans expect to see more from you the second time around?
They can expect to see a lights out performance. They can expect to see an all around fighter. I mentioned that last time, and I think my hands and my kicks and everything, my kickboxing was in a decent place, but it wasn't in a place for MMA to tie everything together. I think this fight you're going to see me start to put one, two, three, four stringing attacks to takedowns to feints to touching this guy to keeping distance to recovery to throwing hard shots, and I think you're going to see everything this fight. And it's going to kind of be how this guy's going to react. I know he's going to try and hit me hard. I know he's going to try and crash into me. So if I do keep that distance, he's going to go to sleep. And if I do let him crash, he's going to get taken down and grounded pounded.
And you obviously have the wrestling pedigree, but when you look at a guy like Kamaru Usman, who's also a great wrestler, and you saw how his career developed, with his striking, his last three opponents he's finished. Do you kind of see your career going the same path that he did, where he got, he did everything that he did with wrestling, but then he felt the love of his hands. Do you feel that progressing in your career?
I'm starting to feel that exact same way, man. And I feel like the way that Kamaru has done it with development with Henry Hooft, how he has that hard style where it's bang, 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 hard kicks, not just to the body, but to the arms and that really hard style. You need to develop that early in your career. And now that he's with Trevor Whitman, who's one of the best technicians as a coach in the world, he's really owning in on that hard style, but also that tactic style. And I look at guys like him, and I look at guys like Henry Cejudo, and even Daniel Cormier, guys who've transitioned from a high level of wrestling into MMA, and how they've treated their careers and how they've catered to the development. And I just take little pieces from them and work them into my routine, and it's like a cheat code, man. Why throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks? No, I'm gonna take Kamaru Usman, who's currently the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. And I'm gonna try and focus on what he's doing and see how I can tighten into my game. When Henry Cejudo was on top, I made sure I talked to him and spent time with him to learn about how he developed his career. And I actually modeled a lot of my development in the past 9 months over that. Boxing first, and then you get into the kickboxing, and then you get into the different ranges and the tactics and I have a real big confidence in myself right now based on everything that I've learned and the way I'm going to be able to put it together. It's almost exciting because this is only my second fight, right? And if I'm able to put it together this early, the world's in for a storm.
And yeah, just talking about the topic of Usman, he's been dangerous with his hands. He drops Gilbert Burns with just like a laser of a jab. Then Masvidal becomes the first person to finish Masvidal. But now that he's adding leg kicks to his arsenal from learning from the great Douglas Lima, how dangerous do you think he might be against Colby Covington?
Man, Usman this time is gonna fucking smoke Kobe, in my opinion. I think Usman. I don't think anybody can beat Usman. If he ventures up a weight class, obviously, you got Izzy and whatnot. I think that's dangerous for Usman. But I don't think anybody in the 170-pound weight class is going to be able to challenge him for a pretty long time.
hmm And I think that's all the questions I had. I just want to thank you again for the time, Richie. Is there anything that you want to say to the fans out there watching? Like, where can they follow you on your social media?
Richie _ Savage and April Fitness. I appreciate the time, Chris.
Awesome. Thanks, Richie.
You the man.